This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. Before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome our newest producer-level patron, Colby T. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, truly appreciate it. Colby joins the ranks of Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, and Eric Reed. Thank you so much again to all of our producer-level patrons. We really, really appreciate your continued support. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 22 of Knife of Dreams.
Yep, Chapter 22 is To Make an Anchor Weep.
Not cry.
No, not cry. It's weep. And just a big disclaimer here, because this is a super serious chapter. And it's talking about pretty heavy events, but the issue
is I have no idea who anyone is and I don't know what's going on.
That's not the issue. The issue is that we've been drinking for a bit.
And
we
haven't been.
Oh, okay. Just me then. But we also have a special guest in studio.
Yeah, not just you. It's Tyler.
It's Tyler.
Hi.
Oh, no. Okay.
I've been drinking too. It's fine.
So we need to have like a moderately serious tone to the chapter.
Really?
I mean, okay.
I don't even remember what happens. I have my notebook, and I will take live notes as you guys tell me who the characters are and why I should care. This is the point where I'm mad at myself. Kids, this is why you do your homework, okay?
Right.
You do your homework so that later you know what's happening.
And when the teacher's like, hey, who are these people? You're like, I know, instead of, who are these people?
Exactly. Because if I had done my homework about the sea folk like I wanted to, I would have something to refer to right now. And currently, I do not. So after a lot of microphone configuring around here to make everybody comfortable.
Yeah.
Let's get into your fun fact?
Sure. So this chapter actually makes like a lot of sense if you know who the people are. So I can recap on people as we go.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, Tyler, thanks for being here. We did want someone else to be on this episode. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it. So you are the replacement.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that happen last time we were supposed to?
No, we subbed him out intentionally.
Oh, we were supposed to have Tyler and then it was
exactly.
Spencer?
Yeah. And then that's
or
why...
was it the other way around?
No, it was going to be Tyler, but then we were like, oh, Spencer's much better for this chapter.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. That is what happened.
So it's a lot more of the same then.
But then you got the cleansing, so like you can't complain about it. So
I did.
Okay.
I've got no complaints except about some of the nautical stuff in the chapter. I wrote a small list of complaints.
Okay.
Which we can address later.
Okay.
Put it in the complaint box.
Okay, so let's get into I don't know if I want to call it a fun fact. It's a fact, and it's kind of interesting because it talks about the fan base a little bit of the Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan, and a lot of speculation about this chapter. So here we go. We're going to talk about the fact that before Knife of Dreams was released, Robert Jordan made statements saying there would be an event in this book to make people gasp. And this caused mass speculation about what, in big capital letters, the gasp moment would be. And what I might be referring to. So there's quotes of Robert Jordan saying, in Knife of Dreams, you'll learn the horrible costs of an event in a previous book that you cheered when it happened. And he says things like, something that has previously happened in the series is going to be revealed to have a terrible cost.
Wow.
And he added, when you read it, your reaction will be, gasp, how horrible. Now, the issue is, after this book was released, nobody really picked up that this was the chapter
that he was talking about.
The gasp moment was this chapter.
Did he expect that we all knew who these people were?
Yeah, so that's part of the issue. So let me continue with this. There's a little bit of backstory because I had to do a lot of digging because I wasn't involved in the community or like the online presence very strongly. So I had to do a lot of research on like what actually went down, how this all worked. So I might not be 100% accurate on all this stuff, but I have a pretty good gist of it. So, there was a lot of real frustration from RJ that people didn't exactly react the way he expected with the whole gasp moment. And to be fair, he didn't put the entire onus on the fans, though, for the failure, because from what I could find, he felt he had failed to create the same sense of realness in the books that he felt when he was writing the scenes.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's like a hardening of people that he thought that, we're inundated with images of violence and disasters and death all the time. So it makes this a little bit less of a hard-hitting scene.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's anything really gasp-worthy.
Well, I mean, there's the entire Amayar people, the mass suicide event.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
literally an entire people.
I kind of forgot that happened.
They all killed themselves and their children, and everybody died.
Oh,
so
I forgot that happened.
I know, but that's the issue.
That's a big deal.
That's the problem.
That's losing the forest for the trees on his part, though, where it's
exactly.
Like, there's people that you didn't know about before.
Yeah.
They're all dead now and react.
Remember that one person who saw that hand glowing?
Exactly.
Remember that?
There was a couple references.
Something happened after that. Right.
That's like literally the issue, is that there was a couple of references, and then there was some disappointment from the community because they didn't feel there was enough of a lead up to the event to be gasp worthy, and we didn't really find out enough about them. We weren't attached.
What's happening?
Exactly.
Rather than a gasp.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, so with all that being said, there are unfortunately like a lot of religiously motivated mass suicides in real world history, but apparently RJ was most likely trying to give this a bit of a real life comparison to the People's Temple in Jonestown, Guyana in 1978, when 909 followers of Jim Jones, including 276 children, killed themselves and their children, or they were murdered. And it makes it hit a bit harder that was what RJ was going for feelings-wise, and it didn't quite land.
It's like the Heaven's Gateway or something it was called.
Yeah, like it's just really tough because there are a lot of things that he was trying to evoke those emotions of like, wow, an event we cheered for, which was the cleansing, has a very terrible consequence, which is some people who were under the assumption that this was the end of the time of illusions, they all take that as a sign to kill themselves.
Because I did remember they said something like, we gotta go tell them it's the end of illusions. And I was like, who cares?
Exactly.
Not me, right?
Yeah.
Especially after all of that, so...
And that's kind of the big issue with this entire sequence.
Yikes, okay.
So,
way to put a damper on...
Well, I think...
that's why I said this is like it's a heavy chapter.
I think the real crime is that his wife was the editor, so he couldn't blame the editor. That's like the true author move, right?
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, and she was probably much more involved in these characters and the storyline, and, who knows what was written that was cut, and so...
I have a couple of callbacks, too. Like, there are a fair amount of references to this event, and we're gonna go through this.
Okay.
But we can have some fun because, there's stuff to talk about.
There is some stuff.
Yeah, we'll make it a little bit light and breezy. That's what I was saying.
Okay, so...
What fun.
We're gonna breeze past that ending.
Is this our first Hareen perspective? How do I pronounce this?
Yeah, it is Hareen, and I think it is... I don't think we've seen her perspective. We've seen her. We know her.
All right.
You should know her.
I do know her. And our chapter symbol is the two birds and star. I just have to say that for the sea folk.
Right.
And now, for sure, I know who Hareen is. So...
Who is she?
For the people who, maybe don't, though, maybe you could tell us.
Okay.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, right.
Is this the one that Elaine bargained with in Camelin?
Nope.
Oh.
Good try, though. That's the other important person in this chapter.
That's Zaida.
Zaida. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to give you a quick breakdown that's going to make this chapter make a lot more sense.
Now you need to tell me who Hareen is.
All right, so Hareen,
that's who that was.
Hareen is the wave mistress who expects to be declared the mistress of the ships.
Well, yeah, but there's another one who also does.
Yeah, just let me go through
I think they all kind of do.
So Min actually saw a viewing of Hareen as the mistress of the ships. So Hareen was like, oh man, okay. Hareen is the one who made the bargain directly with Rand. Mm-hmm. And that was when they were in Kyrian.
Well, for about 2 minutes with Rand, and then for about 2 hours with the Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're not going to talk about that because Rand basically, he was the Taviran cause of all that stuff. So that's Hareen. Okay. Now, Shallan is the Windfinder who was at the cleansing with Hareen because they're actually sisters.
Oh, they were at the cleansing.
Hareen and Shallan and they're literal sisters.
Oh.
They're actual sisters, yeah. And Shallan is the one who is in a link with Varen and Kumira. And the funny thing is...
Yeah, your labeled teams with color coding.
They're right over there. Maybe at the break I'll find them.
But here's the thing. Shallan is also the one who was basically in a relationship with the other A lady, Aelil.
Oh, yeah.
And we
then
heard about
they
the other
were
A-lady.
all, like got pushed under the bed.
Yeah,
It was
where
a big
Rand
scandal.
tied them up and pushed them under the bed.
Exactly,
That one? Yeah.
because Rand was like, I don't have time for this, because that was during the attack, and then they got stuffed on the
Ooh,
bed.
You
and
know
then
what I think it is?
Cadswin.
No, listen, I think
Yeah.
we had a Shalon perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cadswin and Varen, like, blackmailed them to get them to do what they wanted.
Okay.
So that's Shalon. So Shalon and Hareen are Wave Mistress, which is like the leader of a clan, and then the Windfinder.
And that was in Kyrian?
Yes, and that's where the attack on Rand was that happened.
Right, and then they traveled with Rand
Yeah, because they were involved in
to the place where
to
they can't
Farmatting,
channel.
to Farmatting.
And then they went to the cleansing, and then I guess from the cleansing, they went off to this meeting?
Yes, because
Okay.
there was a big...
Okay, I can track that. I can follow that.
So there was a big meeting because the whole thing was like Nesta, who was the former mistress of the ships of the sea folk, she got executed in Abu Dar after the Shanshan invasion.
Yes.
So then there
her
was like
head's on a
this.
spike.
There was a big meeting, like we gotta choose a new mistress of the ships. So Hareen was like, "Oh dang,
I
Min
gots
saw
to
me.
go."
That's me. I'm supposed to be the next one."
But you know what's interesting? I distinctly remember saying Min's vision didn't say when.
Yes. Now
So-
that's
all
actually
the crap that she had to go through in between, apparently.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's a
and
lot of crap.
That's where Zaida, who's the other person in this chapter, comes into play because she's the Wave Mistress who was super terrible to Nynaeve during the lessons
Yes.
in Caemlyn.
Okay,
And
yeah.
she's the one who like walked in on Elaine taking the bath.
Yeah.
She's the one who made the deal with Elaine and then took off from Caemlyn because she was like, I gotta go super fast to this meeting about the Mistress of the Ships that's happening, and she wants to go right away. And it appears, like from what we saw, that Hareen came here expecting to become the Mistress of the Ships, and instead it's actually Zaida who became the new one. But since Hareen got the vision for the viewing from Min, like technically Hareen should at some point be Mistress of the Ships in the future. We just don't have any time frame on that.
Okay, and is that all we're going to talk about right now before we meet other people?
Yeah, those are like the key players in this scene.
Okay, so now are we ready to start the chapter?
Yes, now we can
We
progress.
know our players?
Yep, we know.
Well, some of them anyway.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting into it, we have Hareen and we have Shalon, and they're sitting next to each other on a boat.
Yeah. That's what's happening.
Okay.
It's a slow play.
They're also in Ilion, question mark?
Yes, we are in Ilion. Yeah.
The harbor.
Okay,
Yeah.
and there are a bunch of sea folk ships here, but then there are also...
Yeah, I had to look this up.
Oh, what did you have to look up?
Bumboats.
Oh, I did not catch the
one
word.
line about bumboats.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not.
Well, it's
catch
like,
the
okay,
word
so
bumboats.
there's lots of big ships,
Yeah.
and then there's like a bunch of little bumboats, which are like the little ships that bring you to the big ships. So it's
Oh.
like the harbor, as far as the eye can see, there's ships, but then there's also more ships in between the ships of all the little ships amongst the big ships.
Okay, but then there's also some of those terribly ineffective Shanshan ships.
Right.
That some of the sea folk have used to escape Abu Dar.
Yeah, it's like basically everything that they stole. It's all here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here, so it's good.
The one thing I noticed with this perspective that is consistent throughout the whole thing is how little self-reflection she has on any of this stuff. It's like the Shanshan ships are terrible. It's like they beat you.
Yeah.
They beat you. They took you over.
Yeah, they did.
And
They won.
also, they are meant for crossing an ocean.
Right.
Successfully as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
very successfully. Except
Yeah.
that they mostly use channeling. Like I think that.
Well, I mean, the wind find, like literally the
I
sea
know.
folk, that's how they are so fast too. Like they
I
got
know,
good ships.
but they're only really just like kind of manipulating the wind a little.
Yeah.
And I think that the Shanshan are probably just using their Damani to just like motorboat them across the
Yeah. And like
whole
straight up
ocean.
manipulate the weather and
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
and
yeah, just, like,
absolutely.
push them a lot. Like
Yeah.
even just like push the water out of their way. Like I don't even think that they would care.
Yeah, like less
That's just, like,
consequence
their-
and just
yeah.
like let's go.
That's their mentality. That's
Yeah, I
what
get
see
that.
there.
I get that.
So maybe that's why their ships are less good at actually sailing.
Yeah, they didn't have to think about them a ton.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. It was more aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sea folk ships, I think, are designed to actually use the wind.
Yes.
And the Shanshan ships are probably just like designed to catch wind being thrown
And like
by
carry.
Yeah.
the demonic.
I'm thinking like giant cruise ship versus like beautiful sailboat.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they both go on water and they can both go pretty quick, but one's got like a giant engine, one's like a beautiful sail ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's luxury as well.
Exactly,
There
yeah,
you go,
yeah.
Yes.
can hold more monsters to bring them across
Exactly.
the ocean.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what we needed. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
giant chairs, apparently, as
Oh.
well.
All right, so we're going to get a bit of a recap on the entire escape from Ebudar's situation, and we also get in this little bit that she thinks about how since Shatter Logoth, she didn't think anything would shake her again. But now, weird and crazy things are happening all the time.
Yeah, we get like the spooky wind that pops up here too. It's like, whoa, that's not natural wind. And it's evil wind, clearly. So
it took me a minute to figure out what she meant by Shatter Logoth.
Yeah.
To realize that, no, she didn't go in the city.
She's
talking about the cleansing moment.
That's the cleansing. It's like,
and that's our little bit of a reminder that she was there.
That was there.
Yeah.
It's like 3 days ago, but I was there.
We don't actually know how long ago it was right now.
It wasn't very long ago.
No.
Maybe a couple weeks, I think. Like
really?
maybe it's
one whole book, maybe? Something like
which
that.
could be like 4 days to maybe 2.5 weeks.
To say?
Very recent.
I thought it's been like a month. Didn't Rand say it was like a month?
I don't know. It's not been very long. Couple weeks. Anyways, the whole point that there's like there's a name for the capital E escape from Ebudar, and just to recall, who made that go off?
Matt.
Who did that?
That was Matt.
Matt freaking Cawthon.
Yeah, he did it.
On a whim.
He did. He was like, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Debated it. Thought about
That's
it.
not like
You let go of the right ones.
Yeah.
It is, but like literally it's like this gigantic event for the sea folk being like the escape from Ebudar.
Yeah.
It's a thing, and it's like it's literally all because of Matt Cawthon just like deciding to set it off. It's so cool.
It's just fully canonical that Matt will do.
He's also Taviran.
I mean, he is. That's the thing.
It's fully canonical that Matt will do a thing and not get any recognition for it.
Yeah.
It's like not mentioned at all.
No.
It's like someone should be the one to be like, yeah, that was Matt. Matt was the guy.
Well, it's us. We're doing it now.
Yeah.
Okay, now Shalon and Hareen are going to have a bit of a heart-to-heart about the situation that they're in right now.
Yeah, because like there's the backstory that we don't fully get until later this chapter, is that Hareen already tried to become the new mistress of the ships, and she basically failed. Because Zaida
That's the update.
She didn't get voted into power.
That's
and then
the update.
Hareen got severely punished for making bad bargain with Rand.
Ooh.
I have a recap on the bargains if we need to
severely
do
punished
that too.
means that she is sitting lightly.
Oh yeah, well she was hung upside down and strapped until she was howling and stuff. Like they beat the crap out of her.
Yep.
So
mostly her butt, it sounds like.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's wild that you can be punished so hard that you can't become queen kind of thing, right? It's like, no.
Not until later.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to resign if they punish you too hard, by the way.
Well, and if you like ask for it to stop. If
Yeah.
you're like, hey, please stop, then it's like, nah, you're out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the whole shame thing. It's funny,
It's kind of like similar to the Aiel.
I was going to say, they've got almost the same blind spots, like when she's talking about the Aes Sedai
Yeah.
later on, where she says the Aes Sedai is on the lowest
Yeah,
rung
it's like, fuck them.
of status. Yeah, exactly. But then she says, oh, she wouldn't try and escape again because then she would even be lower. It's like, no, you can't be lower. She's the lowest. She's in the worst spot.
I actually don't want to be here. I'm going to keep trying to leave.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, now there's a big to-do to get on the ship.
Yeah, because they get to the new ship that they're coming to on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're on a bumboat.
They're on a boat and they got to go to the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's some ceremony to get on.
Yeah, because they're coming onto a ship that actually isn't technically like Zaida's ship. It's a different sail mistress. So we got to do a quick recap on the hierarchy of the sea folk. So
Have to is a strong word, Brett.
So sail mistress is like of the individual ship. Wave mistress is of the clan because they have clans kind of like the Aiel.
Yeah.
And then the mistress of the ships is like the queen. So
Yep,
we're
all of them.
We're on a sail mistress's ship here, but then all the wave mistresses, the top 12
The
are
top
here.
12. So this terrain
Is a sail mistress, not one of the top
not
12.
important.
Well, it's her ship.
Okay.
That's why she's like greedy.
I'm going to write in my notes, not important.
Terrain is yeah.
It goes right
Okay.
back to the Aiel. You're right. Like the structure is the
Yeah.
same. Where this is like the hold
And
mistress.
I
as
don't
well, or
understand
whatever.
this. Although I actually
Yeah.
think I understand this more than I understand the
Aiel.
Aiel.
Right,
Yeah.
because they
the
also have like
Aiel
warrior
also
societies.
have occupation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They've
Yeah,
got societies and clans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And septs.
and seps.
Uh-huh.
And
they all
holes.
Yeah.
and they like intermingle and who knows, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we do learn, you guys already talked about it, there are 12 of the Atha on Mir.
The first 12
The
of the
first-
sea folk.
The first 12.
So these are the top 12 highest ranking,
but her
wave
name
mistresses.
is at the bottom.
but she's still up there in like, so there's lots of clans.
She's number 12.
She's number 12. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be Mogadine, I think, in the Forsaken, right?
I mean, maybe.
Gideon.
We'll get it.
I know. I like saying it wrong. It's fun.
I mean, Masana's not doing very... Like, there's a few of them that aren't doing very well right now, so...
Yeah.
Right.
It might be Agnor or Balthamel, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay, and now we do get a few more names here, and I didn't write them down. I don't
Yeah.
know who anyone is.
It's funny, we don't actually get all 12 names of the 12 of the top wave mistresses.
Which, thank goodness.
No, we only know 8 of them, but they don't matter.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a pass on that one.
Okay.
What? I got a Lord of the Rings reference now.
No.
Oh, no.
I mean, yay! Right? Yay!
Yay! That's what we're here for.
They're famously, Tolkien has a specific group of wizards. He's got the brown, the white, the gray.
Right, I like the brown guy.
Yeah.
The bird poop guy.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
And then he's got 2 blue wizards that he just never names. So they reference him in The Hobbit where it's like, Gandalf is remembering all the wizards. And he's like, there's 2 blue wizards whose names escape me.
It's funny. That is
It's
good.
one of the better moments.
Yeah, it's like I'm done coming up with. Here's 8 of them.
Yeah, it's right.
I know there's 12, but like I'm.
Yeah, the brown Radagast,
I'm
the
done.
white
Yeah,
Saruman, Gandalf the Grey, there's the blue guys. There's 2 blue guys.
blue guys. All right, now I said no because I'm the
One's
one
name
who's
is
going to have to
McMuffin.
get
I'm
up.
pretty sure.
What an obscure,
Yeah.
super bad reference.
Excellent.
Okay, I knew I was the one who was going to have to get up. That's
Oh, yeah.
why I was like, no. So
No one can see it, but we're on the couch, and you're the most accessible.
okay, pause.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so we're back, and I chose
Yeah,
a theme.
you did.
For
Hockey.
Hockey because I'm taking Hayden to the preseason Jets versus Oilers game this weekend.
Yep.
NHL.
NHL. And so Brett and I have the Winnipeg Jets shot glasses, and you have the stinky Oilers shot glass
Oh, you're going down, Jets.
for the
Sports.
preseason game. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
I talked to Hayden about it, and he was like, I'm going to get pizza and popcorn. It's
And
like,
he's gonna see the
he
Zamboni.
remembers
Yeah.
it from last time.
Future
But
sportsman.
He
yeah.
wants to see the Zamboni. That's what he's excited about. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, whew, whew.
When I grew up, I always wanted to be a Zamboni driver.
Oh,
You
and
know,
the peak of professions, I must say.
Yeah. The dream.
they haven't
Yeah.
made really. Okay, I don't even know where we are.
Yeah,
Someone
so
help me.
we were recapping that the meeting is on this boat with the first 12 of the sea folk, and we're waiting for everyone to arrive, and Hareen is finally here, and the reaction that she's getting from
Oh,
the
she's
other
like
way...
the last one to arrive.
Well, she's not technically, because like Zaida comes in after, but she's like the last one, but like she's not the last to enter the room because...
Oh,
Yeah, anyways.
Because isn't Logain like, I wasn't gonna show up till everyone was here?
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
she is the
Yeah.
last one to arrive, but she's not the last one to like enter the room to talk about stuff. And it's
Okay.
like there's a whole bunch of like
Oh
hierarchy
my
bullshit
gosh.
happening too.
So much.
But we do get that they're treating her kind of terribly because she made a bad bargain with Rand.
Yeah.
And Hareen thinks that one of these people is a daughter of the Sands.
Oh my no.
We've heard that before.
Not a daughter of the Sands.
We've heard that before though. Do you remember who said that?
No.
Do you remember?
One of the bargains. You remember one of the bargains made with the sea folk was made by Matrim Cawthon?
What?
Oh my goodness, we gotta recap the bargain that Matt made. Okay, so
Oh,
if you recall-
Ian Abudar.
yeah, so after coming back from the Rahad with the Bowl of the Winds, Matt is like to everybody because there's like Aes
He's
Sedai,
like,
kinswomen,
hey,
sea
everyone,
folk.
shut up.
No,
Here's
he's like,
the
shut
deal."
up, we
Yeah.
gotta go because
Yeah.
we're all gonna die immediately.
Right.
And then they're like, no. And then Elaine and Nynaeve are just kind of like quiet in the background, letting Matt be a Taviran.
Yeah.
And then Renila is being kind of rude to Matt, and Matt's like, hey, you're a daughter of the
Renila
Sands.
is another
Yes. And
sea
then
folk?
Renila takes out... Yes. So Renila was Nesta's Windfinder, and then after
Oh.
Nesta died, she got demoted to like the lowest rank again because you got to start all over again. So Renila is currently... Yeah, she was like in Camelin and everything with Elaine. So anyways, the whole point...
And also daughter of the Sands.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
so-
just writing real time.
It feels like a slur. Is it a slur?
It is a slur. It's
Okay, yeah.
definitely a slur because
well,
Renila
especially
takes out her
for
knife.
Sea folk, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Daughter of the Sands is terrible, terrible.
Yeah.
So Renila's pissed off at Matt, and then Matt disarms her, and he says, the blades are bare, and I'm the master of the blades of the group, so I'm in control now. And that's literally why he sets the terms for the sea folk to go with Elaine and Nynaeve, and he's like, hey, you get to go and listen to them, or I'm going to make you do it by force. and then they like make this seal with their finger to each other's lips, and that's why they go to the Kin's farm to use the Bowl of the Winds. So Matt Cawthon actually kind of made a bargain with them.
The Bowl of the Winds.
Yeah, Renila was all involved in that stuff.
Oh my gosh, Renila has so many arrows coming off her name right now.
Holy moly. Okay, so that is where we heard the Daughter of the Sands previously.
So when you said we had this explained before, you meant no, we haven't ever had it explained.
Hey, listen.
This has all been explained before many times.
Is Renila here on this ship?
No. Not here.
Not here.
Yeah, Renila. You got to write it down.
Not here. I put an X beside her name.
Put it on her own page.
No.
Yeah, Renila is with Elaine in Camelin currently.
Renila's in Camelin.
With Elaine, yeah.
And Elaine's in Camelin.
Elaine is the daughter. Elaine's the daughter heir.
Andor.
She's trying to become the mayor of Camelin.
Right. The problem is that Elaine also has a maid named like Renee or something.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Completely different names.
Okay, so she doesn't actually matter at all for this chapter.
No, but that's where
good tangent.
The point of that story was the Daughter of the Sands.
Because Hareen
thinks about one of the other wave mistresses like, Daughter of the Sands.
At least I don't suck as bad as her. Yeah. Right?
Are we going to get context for every slur that comes up in this chapter, Brad?
That's the only slur. That's the only one. That's it. There's nothing else.
Okay, well, I think that this is probably a good time to take a break because we've done a lot of covering this chapter so far.
Right.
And somehow I'm without a beverage. So I need a new one and we'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, so we're back, and now is the time that we are going to get introduced to Zaida, who is the new Queen Bee.
Yes, Mistress of the Ships, she did it.
Queen Zed? Okay.
Z? For our American listeners?
Yes.
Okay, that is the letter. Mm-hmm. Well, she's going to arrive with a whole lot of ceremony.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously. Obs, right?
Yeah, and she has her own windfinder, Shylin.
I didn't write that one down. How do I spell that?
Shielyn. How do you think you spell Shylin?
Fantasy Shylin, yeah. That's it's like, spell it normal,
Shylin
and then put a Y.
Windfinder.
How do you think you spell it? It's not like that.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Now, she also has an Aes Sedai, who's from Camelin, who's Brown Aja, and it's Amelia.
Poor Amelia.
And how do you spell that? Not the way you think.
Okay, tell me how.
Amylia.
Oh, see that Y, hey?
The rule genuinely works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Amelia is an Aes Sedai.
Yep.
And she's brown?
She's Brown Aja.
Cool. Anything else about Amelia? Do we know her even?
Oh, she's sad. She seems pretty sad.
Yeah, she's having a bad time.
Oh, was she sent by Elaine?
Yeah. Taken, actually, I believe.
Oh, she's...
What's the proper phrasing?
She's teaching, and they treat teachers
bad.
Horribly.
Yeah, not good.
You know what? It's almost like they live where we live.
Yeah, so Hareen, if you recall.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Yeah, I think teachers should be respected.
What? What a crazy concept.
I didn't mean to get controversial.
Okay, so back to it. So Zaida is the one who brought the first of the Aes Sedai that were bargained for during the Bowl of the Winds fiasco, right? Because that was one of the conditions. Do you remember the bargains? Because there's been a couple.
Something about a square mile of land.
Okay, so there's been a couple of bargains, and this might clear up a few things. Can I tell you?
No.
You know what? You can get out of here, Tyler.
Let me flip a page and title it Bargains.
Here we go. These are
and then
important.
Once he's done, I want you to take that page and throw it in the garbage.
Because it doesn't matter.
So, quick question. You did take notes on the bargain that Matt made, correct?
The one that you already talked about?
I already talked about that one? You took good notes on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, then we've got the terms of the bargain that was made with Rand. So this is like the original one that was negotiated by 5 minutes of Rand and then Marana and Rafaela.
And then they fucked it up.
And that's, they did in Rand's opinion.
Yeah. In Rand's opinion.
Rand was like, this is terrible. But they were like, it's difficult.
At
and this was with
Hareen.
This was with Hareen, and she's the one who's here. And she's like, the sea folk also hate the bargain.
Yeah.
So nobody likes the bargain.
Well, the funniest thing about the bargain that you realize as you're listening to them complain is that the bargain is essentially equal on both sides.
It is.
They both hate it.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty good bargain.
Yeah, that's
this
generally
is actually
what you go for.
I would argue that this is the best of the bargains. So the sea folk have to provide ships to Rand when he needs them and where he needs them for whatever purpose.
Which is also literally their like prophecy.
Yeah.
Which it matters.
They were supposed to do.
He's the Cormor.
Yeah.
He's like their chosen one.
And this matters because later Logain shows up.
Exactly, which is why that you need to know the bargains. The other point is that Rand has to give the sea folk 1 square mile of land at every city that he controls or comes to control. That's a pretty good freaking deal because they want land.
Yeah. And then and then negotiated that as well individually with Elaine.
Yes.
But with better controls and everything like that. Because
I know,
they didn't get it from Rand.
They didn't get the control, but it's like it was the whole like economy things. Like we're not going to go into like the commercial business of the bargains.
Can we move on?
So okay. Rand also agrees that he's going to keep an ambassador with him at all times, which was supposed to be Hareen and her entire retinue of people. Now, keep in mind, Rand is not upholding that part of the bargain because there's no sea ambassador.
I don't even care. I'm just trying to write fast because I don't care.
And
actually,
then
you're right. I shouldn't even have.
Last part of this bargain, Rand agrees to promptly come to the summons of the Mistress of the Ships, but not more than twice in any 3 consecutive years. Mm-hmm. So
no, it's 3 times in any 2 consecutive years.
It was twice in any 3 consecutive years.
I'm pretty sure.
You know what?
Are you joking?
Let's pause for a couple minutes.
Right.
Who could say?
2 times.
No, I thought I'm right, but it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Okay, I wrote 3 in 2 years,
or 2 in 3.
3 in 2.
Doesn't
years.
matter because Rand isn't going to do it.
It's not going to come
Rand's
up.
Not gonna go.
He's
you
absolutely
think Rand
not.
Up? Like no chance.
He's already rescinded on the bargain.
You have to find him first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, again, it's like, hey, where's Rand? Up yours is where he is. Like,
yeah. How about you go look?
Yeah. So that's the big bargain. And then we also have the terms of the bargain. This is a new bargain for the Bold Winds. And in my opinion, this is the worst of the bargains. This was done by Elaine and Nynaeve and Marililla.
Marilily, yeah.
Yeah, and that was done in and around Abu Dar.
Mm-hmm.
So for this bargain, the sea folk said, yep, we'll help you use the Bowl of the Winds.
But we want it.
Well, yeah, they do want it, but it's like, so the world doesn't die. And the sea folk also agreed that they would let the Aes Sedai, like Elaine and Nynaeve, use the most powerful windfinders instead of the highest ranking ones.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, guys, we need to use the powerful ones, not the highest ranking ones. Like, why is this even in the bargain?
Why is it even a conversation?
Then Nynaeve and Elaine also said that the Aes Sedai are going to provide 20 teachers to the windfinders to learn stuff, and the 20 can't leave until the others replace them. And you know, that's also not really happening
well, and
right
especially because that's literally like 20% of the Aes Sedai we have.
Basically.
More or less.
Yeah.
Well, before the, introduction of Egwene's camp of random channelers.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Now they've got some
Aes
numbers.
Sedai, though.
Yeah.
They're not Aes Sedai yet.
Last part of this bargain is the Aes Sedai also agreed to let the channelers of the sea folk come to the tower whenever they want to. They can learn whatever they want to, and they can leave whenever they want to.
And yeah, right, they can.
And basically what Elaine and Nynaeve get is that they're going to help not let the world die.
Yeah, you should have just done that. You should have just done it.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah, nothing better than bargaining knowing it's probably not going to come up.
Yeah. And now this is the thing. So Zaida also made a bargain with Elaine and Caemlyn. And the bargain with Zaida and Elaine is that Elaine is going to let the Windfinders and Caemlyn help her secure the Lion Throne, and Zaida gets to leave and get some land.
Well, and Elaine also wanted a bunch of sea folk to stay behind to help her.
But then they negotiated like the number.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it. That's probably the most important part right now.
Yeah, but like when you compare Hareen's bargain to Zaida's bargain, it's like, in my opinion, Hareen did a better job. But Zaida's the one who is now the mistress of the ship, so it's like, I guess, here we are.
Yeah, she got new bling.
It's all good.
The new earring, the new chain.
There we go.
All right, so here we go. Now, it is very impressive that Zaida came straight to Ilion via gateway, woven by her own windfinder. What?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, crazy.
So that is impressive. And Zaida's like, that's pretty cool. I can't even argue.
Yeah, and this is where we get the first hint about the gateways on ships. It's like it's chancy to do it because you can damage a ship really easily making a gateway.
No shit.
And also you can't make gateways big enough to get a ship through, so it's like, how useful are they if we can't actually move our boats through them?
Well, I mean, like, let's link. Maybe we can make a gateway bigger. That's what I was talking about this whole time.
Yeah.
I even said that once.
No, most of what she's saying just sounds really bitter and
Yeah.
childish.
Oh, for sure.
Like none of it's like
Well, and we're yeah.
I don't even
Impossible.
Like that. I
Yeah.
don't like traveling. I don't even like it. Yeah.
Wow. Like, why would you even bother?
Teleporting
We have
from one part of the world to
boats.
another. No, thank you. Don't like
Who
it.
cares? Okay, so Zaida says the man has not arrived yet, and it's almost like, oh, I'm so annoyed. Why isn't he here yet?
Right.
Yeah, because okay, for custom, would it have been better for Logain to show up and then Zaida's announced and comes in?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Logain probably picks up on this and is like, nah.
Well, and also, like, he
I'm
doesn't
just
want to
gonna
be
wait.
there waiting for however long Zaida's going to make him wait.
Nah.
Like, no thanks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and there's the waiting for protocol, and then there's literally the waiting for other people to come from the other ship.
Right.
So he was like, I'm not gonna go on
I'm not
there.
gonna-
I'm not going there early. It's like, no, thank you.
I like to be 15 minutes early to any meeting, so,
Not Logain.
No,
No.
thank
No.
That's not surprising.
you.
Now, we do get a thing where Amelia isn't even here as some sort of Aes Sedai representative or
No.
advisor or whatever. She's literally pouring the wine.
Yep. That's how
Badly,
they
apparently.
Yeah, she doesn't even know the hierarchy in which she's supposed to serve. And I was like, did anybody tell her?
No.
No. And I've never really felt that bad for Aes Sedai, but like this situation
I know.
sucks.
It's like,
I
oh
know,
my
I
God,
hate all of
Amelia,
this.
You can't just ask the sea folk who gets served first.
Yeah.
Like,
It's totally the nightmare of wanting, like, you want to be helpful. She
Yeah.
wants to be helpful. She wants to learn. And they're like, we won't tell you.
yeah.
We'll just hit you if you get it wrong.
Does that look like the right way? Well, what was my reaction?
Yeah.
Although,
Alright.
also to be fair, it seems like the hierarchy is the really basic hierarchy that we already know as well.
Yeah.
So it is weird that she doesn't know like who to serve, like to serve the
Can't
like
figure it
main
out.
person first.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. So we're going to find out that the man who's supposed to be here soon was sent by the Coromor, and Hareen was supposed to be sticking to Rand, but this
Like
man,
not like a what?
like a barnacle.
Because they're sea folk.
Yeah.
I love it.
Water boats.
Okay, water
You got
boats
it.
and barnacles. We get
Boats
it.
and barnacles. Where we're from, it's zebra mussels.
Yeah.
True.
That is
And
the
they're like,
invasive
hey.
species.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, apparently we're getting freshwater jellyfish now too.
No way.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
In our
Okay.
lakes?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, my mom got stung.
Our lakes suck enough.
Yeah. Now it's zebra mussels and jellyfish,
Yeah.
baby.
Well, good thing I don't go in Lakes province because they're gross.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think they make it here. I think this is probably further out east, but they just weren't in
Oh.
freshwater before.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a jellyfish in the Mediterranean
That's cool.
once, and it freaked the hell out of me, and I got right out of the water, and I never went back in.
Quit changing the subject
Okay.
from the sea folk.
You are the one who brought up
Yeah, this
barnacles.
is
You made
related.
me say it.
Okay.
Now-
It's adjacent.
It's more adjacent.
They
than
would
other
love
things.
this conversation.
They're like freshwater jellyfish. You say?
My.
You know who else would like this? Swan.
Swan. It's true.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Should
That's
be all
true.
Swan
over
would
it.
get along with the sea folk.
No, because she's Aes Sedai.
And
Yeah, but they would eventually
No heckin' way.
talk about the fish metaphors.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
yeah, but she'd be all freshwater fish. They'd be all
Oh, that saltwater fish.
Yeah.
And like, oh,
Yeah.
like those kind of fish.
Yeah, they're like, I have no idea what you're saying.
You sound like an idiot right now.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, everybody. So, anyway, the man who's supposed to be showing up is the closest that Zaida has ever even come to speaking with Rand since Hareen made such a terrible bargain. And
Hate it.
over and over and over we hear it's terrible. But okay, so finally word comes that the Coromor's dude is here, and he steps out of a gateway onto the deck ship, but he does it all fancy like,
Yeah.
where it's above the deck ship.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, so
Okay.
cool.
You
I'm
look
excited.
unimpressed.
It's my grievance.
Oh, this is your nautical grievance.
This is my nautical grievance.
You
Okay.
lived on a boat for either a month or a year.
It was a month and a half. Yeah. But they say right at the beginning of the chapter,
Yeah.
the rollers. They talk about the rollers, and there's no roller that would be 1 foot.
What
That's
is
when
a
the
roller?
when the water's moving up and down, right?
Yeah, so in the water you have waves, which are sort of on the top, and
Sure.
you get them in lakes, you get them all the time. Under the waves, you actually have these huge swells and rolls in the ocean
That makes sense.
that can move you 20, 30 feet up, down, usually.
Oh, I see
Like,
where
they
you're going
are
with this.
Like
massive
they're
up,
like in a
down.
harbor.
They are in harbor, but she said right at the beginning that it was rolling.
She did say that. She
It was
did
like
say
the
that.
first line.
Okay, so the issue.
So it wouldn't be 1 foot; it would be like 10 feet.
So the whole
Minimum,
the issue with traveling is you open a gateway and it slices anything. So it's like if the ship is moving up or down, you're gonna slice your boat.
Yeah, and the ship is literally going to be moving up and down continually.
Yeah,
probably within
the
seconds, right, of him opening the gateway.
Right. So like the 1 foot over the deck isn't enough.
Yeah.
You need like 8 to 10 feet.
See,
like you gotta hop down.
this is why I learned nothing about boats or the sea.
Right.
So that this can make sense to me.
So my theory is he made it from the dock, he put it to the edge of the boat, and then they probably changed it later. Because that would make sense.
And then he was like,
then you just wait for the boat, you wait for the boat to drop, and you just do it.
And he like hops through when he needs. Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense that you would make one 1 foot above the deck, because it would be 1 foot above the deck for 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
maybe
more
he has
impressive
really good.
that it's above
he was
the
waiting
deck,
from the dock. He was like timing it.
And they even mentioned that he did it on the edge of the dock.
Yeah.
Right? Like the only reason you would say that is because that's where you would normally step onto a ship.
Right.
Why would he put it over the ship if he was going to do it like that?
It's more impressive.
It's cooler.
It's way cooler. And Logan's all about the flare.
Yeah, he could have flown, though. That would have been pretty cool, too.
Can he fly?
Probably.
Why
not?
Why do you think he can fly?
Who cares?
What about that time? Hey guys, what about that time Rand made like an invisible stairway from the dock to the boat?
Yeah.
Things need to be anchored though.
That
like
was
you
cool.
can't just you got to
that
anchor
was
things.
Cool and impressive.
Yeah.
Although a gateway is also unimpressive.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Teleporting, I don't care.
Yeah, and I bet like Logain probably whipped up a wind as well, so when he gets on the ship, he can shake out his hair.
Oh
long, dark curls.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's probably got a cape or something.
Yeah, because that's
him.
how we know it's Logain, because he's described with his dark curls.
Well, also he's like, I'm Logain. That's a big indicator too.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
that's a giveaway for sure.
But
like I wasn't sure, but then like once he said that, I was like, okay, this is Logain.
You guys, you suck. Okay. Now everybody's like, oh my god, Logain.
Yeah, they've all heard of him.
Which he loved.
Yeah. Oh, you mean he's a false dragon? He's like pretty popular.
False dragon, that's right. And he was gentled, but now he can channel again. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he starts flirting immediately.
And he's like, no, I'm not. At some point, right?
Yeah, well, so Amelia kind of goes on this like, "Ooh, this is a false dragon. Don't talk to him, sea folk." Because
she's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
Him,
but then she talks out of turn and then gets in trouble.
Yeah,
like
but
nobody
also,
cares. I said, "I sit down."
Yeah, well, I mean, Amelia also is like, "Hey, if you talk to Logain, the White Tower's wrath is going to come down on you, sea folk, for dealing with false
channeler."
Like,
shut it.
If you haven't noticed, we don't give a flying hoot about your Aes Sedai's wrath.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I think that the White Towers, I don't know. No, it's like
their influence.
The influence, like the way people perceive, it's really at an all-time low right now. Like it's just,
and
it's
Logain
not
makes it even lower
nobody,
right away.
Nobody's impressed with the Aes Sedai. It's not good.
Yeah, because he's like, by the way, Sidene is clean now.
Yeah.
And also,
who do you serve? Because I know that the White Tower is super split right now.
Exactly. It's like, are you on a Gwaine side or are you on a Lyta side? Which one?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, I'm a member of this like combined tower.
No, but then Zaida steps in and is like, doesn't matter. She serves me.
Right. Yes.
So
that is a pretty
end of that book.
That's a good power move.
End of that page, right? So now we're gonna get this huge argument between the Sea Folk and Logain about the terms and conditions of the bargain. And as interesting as this can be, I'm just like, ugh.
Well, it's like,
what is the point? What is happening?
It's medium interesting. So Logain's like, hey, remember that bargain that you made? And we talked about it. It's like Rand said, you got to bring your ships whenever, wherever. And Logain's like, hey, we got a job for you. And then Rand's like, I don't like this. I don't like it. And Zaida's like, I'm not doing this bargain because Hareen made a terrible bargain. So
that's not how bargains work.
Yeah, and Logan's like, nah, but it was a bargain, so you got to stick to your side of the bargain.
And
so whole
also,
back and forth.
It's your Coromor and the Forsaken are trying to kill him.
Yeah.
So we need all your ships immediately.
And like, I'm not going to tell you where he is because of that. And you got to send everybody to go to the West Coast because we need food and supplies for like people.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's some unknown plan.
Yeah.
Heading over to the West Coast, Eridoman, right?
People are literally Bander Eben, yeah. So you can look at the map, but Rand is trying to supply the people who are starving on the West Coast right now.
Yep,
it's not a bad move.
While all their crops are dying and shriveling up, the people in Ilion, they're having a bumper crop.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So,
So it's that whole like ebb and flow of the pattern where it's like one person dies weirdly, another person survives a tragedy.
Exactly.
It's happening on a global scale now.
And that's why we got the train that's bringing grain train.
Grain train. Should they
mean-
use? Maybe they should use
Yeah.
steam engine. Are they? Are these steam engine trains?
I don't know enough about trains to answer that question.
I
Because we
think
learned
so.
about
I
that
think-
last
yeah.
chapter.
That was the first engine.
Isn't
and
that
was
what it
steam,
is?
So I think that's the
I think
whole.
that's what it is, right?
Well, it's the steam engine, and the guy was like, "Oh my god, 100 cars."
Yeah, grain train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
But
Yeah,
they got
but like physical, actual train, right? It's not just like a bunch of horses and wagons, is it?
I think it is a train. I think
No,
it's
it's a train, yeah.
It's a train.
It's a
Okay.
steam engine,
Okay.
yeah.
Because we also called Logain being driven to the.
That was a hypothetical
That was
train.
Logain
That was only
train.
because it rhymed. That not because it was an actual
Although-
train.
But grain
Yeah, it was a
train
metaphorical
also-
train in our hearts.
It also rhymes.
This
So-
is,
It does.
but this is an actual grain train.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
I
don't-
believe
Anyways.
I don't think it's on a track either. I think it's on wheels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
like
there's
wagons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is better.
A dragon.
Train wagon?
Train wagon. Yeah. I
Nice,
don't know.
nice.
Okay, guys, I don't want to make
Okay,
a train
we're-
pun,
Oh, wait.
but we're getting off the rails
Where-
right now.
Oh, good
Oh,
one.
no, okay.
Good one. Where are we? What's happening?
Yeah,
Dragon
so-
wagon.
Oh, you know what? We have a book called Dragon in a Wagon.
Okay.
It is, yeah. It's from her childhood.
Yeah,
It's
a
100
really
years
good
old.
one.
It's the
Nice.
oldest book in the universe.
It's from the 90s.
That can't be true.
Anyways, so
This book is like maybe older than
Logain and Zaida are like back and forth. Hey, you got to do this, and they're like, no, but they're like, yeah, okay. So that's where we are right now.
that. Great.
And now this all gets interrupted because the actual serious event is going to happen, where we need to stop laughing for like 4 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Because the sail mistress of the ship,
Yes.
the one who greeted them,
Terrain.
Yep. She comes breaking all the protocol. She
Wait,
like runs
train?
in.
Terrain.
Train?
We're supposed to stop. Take
Stop
this
it.
seriously.
I
Serious.
didn't say train.
She breaks the protocol, runs into Zaida, and whispers something. And Zaida's like, "Whoa, send her in!" Like the messenger. There's news to make an anchor weep.
Okay.
Right.
Which is like an anchor is an inanimate
They don't typically
object.
weep. Yeah.
Typically, generally,
Typically, they don't
yeah,
weep.
They don't.
So anyway,
Mm.
terrain, choo-choo's on in.
Yeah. Yes. No, Terrain.
No, it's not Terrain.
No,
it's some
Train
other
isn't the messenger.
person.
Train brought word of the messenger, and now the messenger comes in.
And Logain is told he has to wait, and he hates that.
Yeah, exactly.
But now this woman comes in, and she is going to tell a story about how she sailed here as fast as could, but she stopped at every island between Termalking and here, but she was always too late.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then we find out that 3 weeks ago, so that's that cleansing.
The cleansing was 3 weeks ago.
timeline.
Yep.
Okay, which is 30 days in this
Yes.
world.
According to
Just
some
to-
calendars, yes.
Whatever. So 3 weeks ago, the Amayar,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
on Tremalking started asking the gift of passage to every island, and it was always a man and woman to each island.
Yeah. So the Amayar are the basically like the locals on the islands.
Okay.
The sea folk don't really spend much time on the islands. They're in the water.
Okay.
The sea folk give their protection to the locals of the islands. So then these locals start saying, hey, we need to go to all the tiny little islands. Like on the map, you only really see a couple big islands, but presumably there's lots of little islands. So they start going off.
Kind of
and
like Hawaii.
yeah, they
Yeah.
start bringing messages and like word, and they start going off and asking the gift of passage, which they don't normally do. And the sea folk are going to give them that actual gift of passage, because we also know like if you ask for passage by the sea folk, you got to pay.
You have to.
You gotta give them a gift. Like it's a gift to pass, but like for the
Yeah.
Amayar, it's an actual like, yeah, we'll do it for free because we're literally supposed to protect your people.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you, like, for me, I heard about these people and everything that they ended up doing, and
Yeah.
immediately thought that they sounded like the Tuathanon.
They are literally like the OG Aiel, where they, unlike the Tinkers,
Yeah.
because they follow the waterway, which is
like the way of the
same
leaf.
as the way of the leaf.
But just for island.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Island
like the
life.
water.
Yeah.
They
the
just
water
got off the
version.
continent as fast as possible and then have
Yeah.
slightly different and more apocalyptic.
Yes.
Instead of looking for the song, they
Yes. So
just-
we got at the
Are
beginning
waiting
of
for the end of Illusion.
apparently, yeah.
So at the beginning of Path of Daggers in Chapter 1, during the wind sequence,
Oh, I
We
just
got-
had. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The illusion thing and the end of illusion sounds a lot like our current day Aiels
Yes.
waking from
Yep.
the dream.
Yes.
big time.
Same.
So, like, definitely descendants of...
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same with, like, death. So when you think about, like, the end of the illusion, it's, like, literally...
That's what I
They're
was
all,
thinking.
they're all
Time to
like
die, end of the
3
world.
different versions of death cults,
Yes.
basically.
Basically are. So in that opening wind sequence in Path of Daggers, we got the wind going, and we get that they basically ignore the world beyond their islands, and we got a hint of a reference that the tales of the world beyond and what their prophecies say is they look to the hill where the massive stone hand rises from the earth holding a crystal sphere, which we know is the big Sa'angreal.
Yes.
Right, that's buried. And the Amayar have their own prophecies, and some say that once the hand and the sphere, whatever happens, when something happens, then the end of illusions is here.
Yeah. Well, apparently not some say. Apparently all of them say it pretty
they're all in on
consistently.
it. It's like, so all of them are on this whole thing. It's like, when that is destroyed, then it's time for us to leave this world.
Then with the cleansing at the very end, we get the woman sitting down
Timna.
and watching.
Timna sees it.
Yeah.
She starts crying, and she's like, whoa, I'm going to live to see this fulfillment of prophecy come.
Yeah.
And the end of illusion. And it's like, that was the whole thing that set it off.
No matter what I said or predicted about this, I was wrong. Because this is not something I thought of.
Yeah, it's literally like a mass suicide death cult, and it's very sad.
Okay, so all of these Amayar are like, hey, can I have passage? And nobody really thought anything of this for like 2 to 3 days until they started realizing that no one was coming back.
Yeah.
And so the governor of Tremalking, I guess,
Of like the sea folk.
of the sea folk, sent people to check on the villages.
Yeah.
And then this is where they found everybody dead.
Yes. Yeah.
And then some of the sea folk are like, how? Some kind of crazy
Like, how do
sickness?
they all die?
Yeah. Epidemic?
Yeah.
Perhaps? And then they're like, no, it was poison. Everyone, it was the same time. It's a Kool-Aid situation.
Literally that. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And then it's like they gave the faster acting stuff to the kids, and some of they didn't have enough, so they had the slower acting stuff for some of the adults. So it was enough time passed that they could figure out, and they got some people who live long enough to spread the word that's like, oh yeah, this was our plan the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, it's
what?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough peaches, I say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, peaches are poison.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what the poison is. Maybe it's like literally they ate a bunch of peaches.
Yeah, and obviously they're completely non-violent, or else this wouldn't have been an issue. But
Yeah.
they had to do it poison style.
It's not great. So
Yeah.
yeah, and apparently, the female version of the Choden Call, like the big Sa'angreal, that has been destroyed because that was the big thing they were waiting for. It lights up, it gets destroyed, and then they all die. And it's kind of interesting because we have a really big callback. So if you remember, Alviarin took off on her little jaunt around the world to check out a couple of things, including Shadow Logoth and Tremalking.
Yep.
Which basically led to her being removed by Elida because she was gone when Egwene and her army showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she came back. And when she came back, she went into the library where the 3 brown sisters, who are all sea folk, and those are the 3 sea folk Aes Sedai, who are also the ones who look after the 13th Depository, which is the secret stash of secrets about the Aes Sedai, which is super suspicious.
Yes.
But when she goes in, the sea folk are like, hey, you're gonna have a bad time. Like, what are you doing here? Because they know she's already been removed as keeper. And then Alviarin says, oh, I just want to stop and walk through the library. But she thinks she's going to tell these sea folk about what was happening on Tremalking just to see if they would make them flinch. So Alviarin was on Tremalking, saw everyone dying or killing themselves, and was gonna tell the sea folk
maybe I'll tell someone.
Maybe I'll tell someone.
And then
but then I
didn't.
don't.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty harsh.
All right, Alviarin.
Holy moly.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I think she's a bad guy.
I'm gonna go with that too.
I know. I go back and forth about liking her and not liking her, depending on the scene. This is not liking.
I've never liked her. Not for 1 second. Yeah.
I get it.
She's terrible. I
What
found
about
no
Elida,
redeeming.
though?
Elida is comically evil.
Yeah.
Alviarin has no redeeming qualities.
No, none. But that's kind of her shtick, isn't it? That's the thing she does best,
Yeah.
is have no redeeming qualities.
Pretty much.
Okay, but now after we hear this whole story, Zaida asks if there were any survivors, like literally at all, but it seems like no.
Yeah.
There were none. And then so Zaida stands up and is like, we must send the fastest ships to every island because our agreement to protect the Amiar since the breaking still stands. We must find, even if there's still a handful, we need to help these people not kill themselves.
We gotta send all the ships out.
Right. And then Logain is like,
wait, I got this.
Oh.
Mourn if you must, but mourn on the march for Tarmangaiden.
Oh my god, that was good. That's what he said.
And then like the mic drops and there's like this like
I don't even care. It's a sad story, sure, but you actually need to send your ships to
we actually we have a bargain.
Yeah, exactly.
Your
it's like, that's really sad.
Can't go over there, and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
So don't waste your time. Do what Rand says, because that's the job.
And we could have talked for another like 10 minutes on everything going on in Hareen's head, where she's super just all over the place in terms of what she thinks and how she treats people and what she says.
Yeah.
Because and then this part, she literally has a line where she says, like, we have to take care of the living.
Yeah.
But then the next line is like, we have to go check on the dead.
We gotta do it.
Before saving all the people who are starving, the millions that he mentioned.
Yeah, because Logain was like, we need supplies for like 1 million people and probably more than that.
Yeah, exactly. There's like entire countries that are dying right now. We need your help. And like, we gotta go back and check on the dead. It's like, maybe
later.
Priorities a little bit.
Well, and I mean like culture differences. Like Logain's like, all those people on those islands clearly have their own shit going on, but we have our own shit going on here. Yeah. And they're like, no, you don't get it. Those are our literal people that are all killing themselves.
So what are we doing here? Are we checking it out, or are we like doing what Rand wants here?
I think they'll find a way to wiggle
I know, I was going to say probably both.
A little bit of both? Okay.
Yeah. It really feels like they're going to go check on this. But at the same time, Rand is Rand and gets his way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they do have gateways now, so they'll send all the ships, but they'll take some gateways back or something and check on it, right?
Fair too.
Yeah.
They can be sneaky. We know that.
Our fastest ships, Zaida. Don't you know how to fucking travel? Come on.
I mean, no, she's not a channeler, so...
No, but like, I mean, her Windfinder can. Isn't that how she got here? And how she got her role, probably, because she impressed everybody with her gateway skills?
Yeah. Pretty much.
That was like one part of it. That was
I feel like that was basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what we didn't talk about?
What?
Cat Swain at all.
Oh, yeah.
And how she basically...
kidnaps everyone?
Just run show.
We already knew that about
behind the scenes. She's like literally... And she must have known. Like, she must have known about Min's vision where she saw that this woman was going to be...
Have to assume. Like, get your hands on this person.
Well,
so then she just like extra bullied her.
Digging deep with Min a little bit. I think she's getting a lot of information out of her. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Min mentions that as well. So as soon as she found out, she just immediately like imprints on this woman that like, I am so hard on you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that was this chapter. And, you know, it's interesting reading this way while watching season 2 of the show because we're going quite slowly and we're not recording as often. And so it's been a while since I got to read a new chapter. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the show. I want to talk about the show so bad.
I know.
Off recording. Let's do that now.
Episode.
Yeah. Okay,
wrong
not now.
Episode. We'll have you back maybe for a show breakdown.
Well, I'll say one controversial. No. Okay. Well, I'll save that controversial thing.
We'll
talk about it later.
You can't say anything. You're not saying things. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. Although you are annoying, but you know what?
All I heard was thanks.
Yeah, I love that you didn't say positive things about Perrin and rude things about Matt. I like that.
You know what would have made this chapter way better?
If Perrin was here.
It would have been great.
Yeah. Although, how's that guy doing? Hey? Speaking of, like, how's anybody else doing? This whole book, I'm ready for some other stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, the good thing is you have this end point now. Like, you are in view of the end. You know that you're going to get more of of everyone that you care about.
That's true. Like, second half of Wheel of Time books, we know they should get better from here. So
yes.
I'm hopeful for that.
Well, I mean, you're like back quarter now.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that'll do it for now. And so before Tyler tries to explain more reasons why you shouldn't gateway on a ship, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Part of the pattern.
Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted, edited, and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, KoD Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Eric Reed, and Colby T. with music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you, plus you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. All that and more can be found at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us because of algorithms and all that fancy stuff. And be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the very best compliment you can give us. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.